and profession, simply called members of the press. My business is to do a synthesis of what my colleagues have brilliantly espoused and put to public domain. Maybe I should add that we have been watching Rivers State drift into a state of lawlessness because of flagrant impunity and impurities of one man who is self-seeking. I worry. The reason I worry is that reading through philosophers of note, you will hear one of them saying that in a state of anarchy, it becomes illegal to be law-abiding. The governor of Rivers State has ruled and continued to rule this state with impunities. And we will not stand akimbo and watch him drift this state to abysmal oblivion by the reason of trying to push across his personal idiosyncrasies. We're a party. APC is a party. What is more, APC is a party incumbent at the center. And we need to let our party, the president, members of the National Assembly, know our plight. Should we submit to an attempt to envelop APC in Rivers State? Should we concede to the deliberate attempt by one man to annihilate APC in Rivers State? The answer will be no. On the issue and points, we have always followed up with you. Maybe we should make one or two examples again, so that when we say that the man is ruling the state with impunity, you will understand the particular cases and points. You are aware of a judgment of Okocha, Honorable Okocha, a judge of the Federal High Court, on the issue of who is the Speaker and the general members of the House of Assembly in Rivers State. You and I are judges as to what has come out of that judgment, even when they did not appeal against it. Instead of appealing against it, they are busy procuring other judgments that are completely non-sequitous with the law. The latest we are told was the one they procured from one Honorable Judge IPC Igwe, who introduced individuals, legal entities, into a judgment when those legal entities were not part of the judgment of the matter itself. A judge asking police, asking the DSS, asking INEC to do it in a federal, a state high court. I'm told that in the hierarchy of courts, state high courts are number 7 or thereabouts. They come a distant 7th position after the Federal High Court, which is occupying number 5th position in the hierarchy of courts. And the police is not part of the matter. The DSS is not part. They were not before you. You didn't join them, but you make a law that will compel them to do X, Y, Z. And these are federal agencies. You're making those laws via state high courts. What is it about? The reason about it is that they want to buckle the entire scenario. That is not our law. I'm saying again that we're drifting to a state of lawlessness in Rivers State. And we, members of the All Progressive Congress, we have exhausted all the legal means. We have seen that the governor is at the verge of adopting a self-right approach at the chagrin of all of us in the state. You can see the level of desperation. Say, for instance, that few days to 2027 election, presidential election, you will hear that the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, drove to INEC to say to INEC and to say to Nigerians that he is the president and that he is the chairman of INEC. Isn't that an absurd? Shall we take this absurd, and when will it end? We are here as a party, as representative of the party in the state, to say that we will not accept this impunity. And we beg, if you like, say, use the word beg. We draw the attention of the agencies that are responsible for this. The judgment of Honorable Justice Peter Lifu, which we are going to send you the enrolled order before you leave here. We'll drop it on your platforms so that you can read what the judge said. The only option available to the governor and his team is an appeal. It's an appeal to overturn the judgment. It is not order, judgment. Parties deposed to affidavits, parties made their arguments full-blown, and the judge reserved judgment, a composite judgment for that matter. Maybe we should let you know that in course of this matter, they tried everything humanly possible to see how they will stall the process. It got to a point where they went and procured Boots, a party called Boots. I don't know how many of you have had that party name, Boots, to come and apply to be joined in the matter. They went and procured SDP to join in the matter. They came with frivolous applications. In fact, even saying that APC under our watch no longer have the locus to sustain the matter in court. And the judge said, well, okay, another round was that they said, okay, you have, we have gone to appeal court, and then we have appealed the judgment of the appeal court to the Supreme Court. Therefore, stop proceeding. And the judge said, I will hear all the applications, and I will take a composite ruling, including the subject matter. And exactly what the judge did on Monday. Very profound, very sound in law. And the judge addressed all the issues one by each and said that INEC should not release the voters' register to RISIEC because that the processes are not duly and legally followed. And we have said that over time. We have told you that over time. That we were the ones at the point who are nudging PDP, nudging the governor and RISIEC to conduct local government election. But they refused. And they are infracting the law. Because the law says clearly, 3 months to the expiration of the incumbent in power in the LGs, conduct start the process of election. Did you see that? The only time they try to set up a process is after the local government chairman, their tenure had elapsed. And they started the Makaba dance. So, just like one of what our colleagues have said here, under what law is this local government election going to hold? What is the appropriation? Who appropriated the funds for local government election to hold? So you see illegality, impunities, and on this, seeing the level of desperation of the governor, who after the judgment of the Federal High Court came and got to him, drove straight to INEC RISIEC office to nudge them to continue to hold the election and to say that if they see any security agency here, that he will deal with them. That he's both the governor of the state and the chairman of RISIEC. If the governor is chairman of RISIEC, has he not confirmed that we are not comfortable, can't be comfortable to conduct or contest election where the governor himself is the chairman of an agency of government that is responsible for the same election? My dear people, members of the fourth estate of the realm, the reason we keep calling you is that we know your role. We know the role you play in the society. Your business is to disseminate information and let the world know that this is our plight in this state. And it's then to say that we will not watch the governor drift this into lawlessness. And that we are bona fide citizens of River State. And because we are bona fide citizens of River State, we also have the right, the same rights and privileges that anybody else can claim to have. And our right includes the fact that we are eligible to contest election, and APC is ready to contest election. Not under the circumstance. And the court has agreed with us that the processes were flawed and that election under that kind of scenario will be a charade. And that's where we stand. Media, please tell the world that we will oppose the governor's impunity. There's no if and but. We will oppose the governor's planned impunity. Because if it goes against the law, it means that, of course, he has invited splinters in his shells. We will not just be psychologizing into docility because there is one man who calls himself a governor. No. We will be on the side of the law. But whilst being on the side of the law, we will not like or tolerate a situation where we are enveloped into the Senate. Thank you for having us. Thank you. Our answers are toss. APC is a law-abiding party. And we will remain within the ambit of the law. We only say that we should not encourage the flagrant attempt of one man to throw the party into the dustbin. And that anything humanly possible to keep the state in sync with the laws of the land, those are the things we will do. You can see somebody as desperate as the governor. He had lost touch with his party, the PDP. I don't know whether some of you listened to the PDP press conference a few days back. The PDP said that the APC is in court. At that time, the judgment had not come out. And that if the judgment is adverse to an election, that they will also not support holding an election in a flawed environment or under a flawed arrangement. An election that the two major political parties are not participating. And we are told that the governor had procured the Action People's Congress, APP, with their song. I don't know whether they know the meaning of that song, Owobongo. Now, the reason of the meaning of that song is about deceit. Do you know the history? Yes. You know the history?
Yes.
Yes. Between the tortoise and what?
The elephant.
The elephant. Is it not about deceit?
It is.
That's what the governor has procured. Shouldn't the governor be sad that a party that threw him up to be governor of Rivers State, the People's Democratic Party, is not in sync with his illegality? He should be concerned, but he is not. Rather, he came to INEC, RISEC office, the headquarters for that matter, and declared himself chairman of RISEC in an election that he wants us to participate. So the questions you have asked, and I put the three questions in one, that the governor and whatever actions they are taking, as far as we are concerned, are illegal, and we will stand with the law. So we will not take the laws into our hands, but we will not also allow him to also be at the given end as far as illegality is concerned. We will not allow that. You talk about the election and I have said to you over time, over and over again, that I was part of a delegation that visited with the RISEC. And after that meeting, I have told you what happened in that meeting. That the whole essence of that meeting was to introduce ourselves to the RISEC and then to urge them to conduct local government election. And that we were clear-cut on the essence that the RISEC chairman also took the dice and said to us that they were ready for election, that they know the law. The man is a retired judge. That they know the law, but that the logistics are not made available. That was the man's snag. And in fact pleaded with us that whatever we can do to get the system to support the commission, that we should do. And as soon as we left the meeting, it was like, the media swarmed at me and said, what the essence I was said. And I still remember that it was somewhere, the 19th of January, that this, demand, it's not the request, was made. And we were within the law. The local government election, the incumbent chairmen of councils were to leave the office somewhere around June or July. And we were still within the ambits of the law. Look at the distance, January to June. What happened? Nothing. It was after June when the life of the incumbent had lapsed that we started hearing story of there will be election. Under what law? And I'm not aware that an amendment to that law was made. No. So we didn't say that we won't contest election because we were scared. I had told you when we started that the APC will lead, will not be the APC that will be armchair. we're leading an APC that will contest election and bring up the trappings of a political party, which includes putting people up for election, contesting election, and winning election, and running governments. We said so. So why would we be scared of an election when we have the number? So we're not scared. But the point we made is that the laws are not properly followed, and the court agreed with us that for you to put up an election, it is consistent with the local government law that minimum of 90 days notice to be put. You just gave a notice of 30 days or thereabout, and you want us to comply. And we have also told you that where that decision was taken, a decision for whatever election they say, whether it's October, APC was not represented. Have we not said that over and over again? Yeah. Yes, well. So you are attempting to shave our head, okay, behind us. Does it work that way? You know, when Abiola, when they tried to deny him, he told plenty parables. You remember? He said you can't shave somebody's head in absence, right? So that is our case.
We practice a democracy. In the past, even during the military junta, they ruled Nigeria and indeed all the federating units through the instrumentality of decrees, military decrees. They were in themselves laws. So in a democracy, we are not expected, whether as government or as private citizens, to operate outside of the law. Now that brings us to the question, the planned election, local government election for this Saturday, under which law is that election about to be conducted? Which particular law? And what are the details of that law? The Public Secretary mentioned the issue of the mandatory 90 days window before elections are held. This is a government that was put on notice. Press conferences were organized by our party, the APC, and other Nigerians living in Rivers State, to the effect that the period is about to elapse. The mandatory 3 years tenure of the last local government executives. And the government and the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission was duly put on notice. Can you please release your timetable within the time allowed by law and conduct this election? But they paid deaf ears to it. And today, they are in a hurry to do that which they had all the time to do. Unfortunately, this time around, they are operating outside the law. So we are calling on Nigerians, on security agencies, on the federal government to intervene. Imagine the executive governor rushing to the official, the office headquarters of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission to talk about an election that you are an interested party, an election in which you have interest, an election in which your own chosen APP is contesting against other political parties. And you're there as governor to go and intimidate and harass the State Independent Electoral Commission, assuming they were to conduct any election within the law. That in itself is an infringement on the rights of other persons who are participating in the same election. So I'm not going to repeat what the Police Secretary have said, but Nigerians must know that the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, which is being controlled by the Rivers State Executive, is about to go outside of court judgments that are bad, all the institutions that are business in the conduct of local government elections and indeed other elections in Nigeria from doing so. Should the world watch them do it and succeed? No, that will not be right. That will be nice for that will not be nice for our democracy. Democracy is about laws, it's about the constitution, it's about statutes, and all that is being set aside because somebody or some persons want to achieve one aim or the other. It is wrong. We condemn it and we are completely against it. This press conference is to state the obvious that that is against the law and that Nigerians should reject it, Rivers people should reject it, and at the appropriate time, I'm sure that all the higher courts will do justice to this thing and to not stand. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the Caretaker Committee of the All Progressives Congress, gentlemen of the press. This morning, we want to take you through some developments which are occurring with the speed of light. But these issues I will christen unprecedented impunity in Rivers State. The All Progressives Congress leadership in Rivers State, headed by Chief Tony Okocha, and members of its caretaker committee, have met and looked at the following issues, particularly as it affects the proposed or so-called local government elections in Rivers State for the 5th of October 2024. Gentlemen, you recall that on Monday, there was a reinforcement of the order which was given by a federal high court in Abuja under Justice Lifu. Monday was a judgment which barred the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission from going ahead with the proposed local government election for 5th of October 2024. The same judgment equally restrained the police, Nigerian police, from providing security, equally barring the Department of State Security from providing any form of security for the conduct of that said election. You are also aware that that judgment did restrain the Independent National Electoral Commission, which of course is in custody of the voters' register for the conduct of that election. Also note that that judgment in question captured all the aspects of this proposed election and put a stop to it, pending when some of the issues that we'll be looking at shortly would have been addressed, then that will be a proper and fit time for the local government election in Rivers State to be conducted. Firstly, that judgment did say that the actions of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission are blatantly inconsistent with the local government laws, particularly as it affects the 90-day notice required before the local government election in Rivers State will be undertaken. So they failed that, which is against the Rivers State local government law, which clearly ought to be the basis upon which the local government election guidelines and procedures will be anchored. Again, you are also aware that the Independent National Electoral Commission, which is in custody of the voters register had been barred from doing so, and the reason from the court as handed down by Justice Lifu is the fact that the local government election ought to be conducted with an updated voters register. You will recall also that the last election that was held in 2023, between then and today, is nearly about 2 years. And you know that some persons, some citizens of this country, and particularly Rivers State, ought to have come to the age of 18. And a lot of them had signaled to us that they have not been captured, they have not been registered, and they are willing to participate in further elections in this country, and in this case, the local government election in Rivers State. So that, if allowed, would have disenfranchised the citizens of this country, and the Electoral Act and that of the Rivers State local government law did not contemplate that. They did not envisage that anybody should, who is qualified, be disenfranchised. Again, you will know that Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission and the Rivers State government has a penchant for disobedience to court orders, court judgments. And that is a recipe for crisis. We call on the media world to properly capture this, because we are not in a banana republic where court judgments, court decisions are set aside on grounds of personal interests. That will no more see Nigeria, and particularly Rivers State, as a place where due process is followed. Again, there is need for the courts, for the judiciary itself, to take positive steps to ensuring enforcement and compliance to their rules and judgments. By that way, citizens of Nigeria, particularly Rivers State, as Rivers State government and Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission had signposted that whatever decisions that are taken at the courts will not be obeyed, and that nothing will happen. And as we speak today, nothing is happening. We are waiting to see when something will happen in the obedience of court judgments, decisions, and others. Finally, we implore the federal government, as the leader of the 3 tiers of government, to intervene to ensure that rule of law is obeyed, and that what guarantees peace, development in any society is the fact that the people, even the governed and the government, obey the rule of law and ensure that the dictates of individuals and personal interests does not dictate how decisions are taken in Nigeria. We thank you for listening to us, and we expect that you bring this to the fore. Thank you, and God bless you.